Right, ladies and gents, I hear a lot of people joking about my 5 minute introduction to myself. You funny fudgers. I know. If you were here at the weekend, Saturday, you would have seen that I unfortunately went to epic levels of boomerdom and spent a good 5 minutes talking to myself. Didn't realise I had to actually click go live. I said I was going to stream on the OBS software, but I didn't click go live. So I spent 5 minutes talking to myself, well, probably over 5 minutes in fairness, talking to myself like an idiot. I can already see some people getting very strangely heated in the chat. Please don't. Let's keep this actually, civilized. A certain amount of Saturday's stream was, of course, comedic intent. If you didn't understand that, then I hate to break it to you, but very much over your head. Very clearly, a lot of that was comedic intent. So today, I thought we would discuss realistically is just to cover it again, like cover He-Man, of course, but then also Kevin Smith did a live stream where he revealed a lot. He actually spent a good 30 plus minutes defending himself, and I think it's interesting. I think that these points are interesting because he does go round and round in circles with respect to some of the things he said. He defends himself. People are more than welcome to defend themselves. I've got no issue with that. I didn't have an issue with James Mangold defending himself. I think everyone has the right to defend themselves. But it was the sort of argument of no criticism was relevant. All criticism was irrelevant to the point because it was all review bombing. And it's like, right, okay. I mean, that's a really disingenuous stance to take. So we're going to cover a whole bunch of that stuff. I want to get your feedback. I want to go over my opinion a little bit more as well. We're going to cover a whole bunch of these things, basically. Marshmallow's dropped in with the first super chat of the day. Again, just like I said on that Saturday stream, these streams that do get heated or have comedic intent behind them, generally speaking, do get demonetized. So if you're enjoying the content throughout this stream, chuck a super chat. It's a good way to support the channel. But also as well, if you want your comment read out immediately rather than, kind of as and when I get to the comments, then super chats are a good way of doing that as well. Marshmallow says, need to rename your car nonsense vid to an incredibly satisfying deep clean of the Pulsar GTIR. Yeah, maybe. I did read that comment, my dude. I liked that. I like the title. It did have insane transformation or something like that. But yeah, potentially. We've got 144 likes. Let's smash that like button. Let's get into it a little bit. So before I jump on these streams, I do actually watch the chat, and I've been watching the chat. There are a few bad faith sort of arguments going on here. Now, I say bad faith from the perspective that I think a lot of people are jumping the gun on why people have an issue with this show. So a lot of people are like, and this isn't actually to single out my other wrench in the chat here, Mr. Davies, but a lot of people are like, well, it's the first half of the show. It's like, yeah, okay. That's not why a lot of people have an issue with it. A lot of people don't necessarily have an issue. And this is the stance I've always had, actually. Because, again, some of the other disingenuous argument that's been going on is that people are just going to cry woke. Not once did I actually cry woke for this show at all. If you've been watching any of my content for the past couple of months, that word has not passed my lips at all. I just simply do not go into any of this stuff anymore. I'm not interested. What I had an issue with respect to this show, and what I think a lot of people have an issue with respect to this show, is actually the belittlement of the character He-Man. But whilst also being quite stupidly as well, hypocritically so. So there, I think it's episode 2 of this show where they really do reveal themselves, right? And it is also very bad writing, right? A lot of people are like, yeah, but it's just focusing on other characters. Yeah, absolutely. It has written those characters in a very, very poor fashion. So let's take Teela, for instance, right? Tila is now the point of view character for the show, right? We can all agree on that. This isn't anyone saying, "Oh, she's a woke lesbian" or any of this crap. That's not what I'm saying. She is the point of view character for the show. So let's just dismantle what a bad idea it is to have your point of view character, who we're supposed to sympathise with, we're supposed to like in some regard. Generally speaking, we're supposed to like our point of view characters. Be an individual that the moment Prince Adam dies, because he does die in the first episode, right? A lot of people are like, he doesn't die. No, he does. He's in fucking Preternia. It's heaven. It's Eternia's heaven. He is in heaven, right? So our point of view character, the moment Prince Adam dies, chastises everyone because they lied to her. Oh, don't worry, mother of the son that just sacrificed himself for all of Eternia. Don't you worry about your loss, because the fact that he lied to me and you lied to me is more important. That's bad writing. It's bad writing. It makes the point of view character that we are now forced into, right? Because a lot of people tuned into this from the first trailer, which was very much He-Man front and center, right? So this is a combination of bad marketing and bad writing. And you can try and do whatever argument you want to get around it. You won't be able to argue this. Like, you just can't. They framed that first trailer as He-Man centric. So a lot of people watched it because they were expecting He-Man. A lot of people will say, yeah, but the title says blah, blah, blah. Yes, sure. Fine. I'll give you that. There you go. Here's your biscuit. Gold star for you. But marketing reveals itself to be a He-Man show. He-Man gets killed in the first episode. We are then left with our point of view character being Teela, who is incredibly unlikable. Incredibly unlikable. In fact, insufferably so. Not because she's a woman. Not at all. Because I've gone on record, and I stand by it, I even say it right now, is that swapping out your main character for someone else and having the narrative be about that main character is fine. Like, that actually works. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I don't care. Like, that actually does work quite well. But to swap out your main character, bearing in mind all the marketing, the first trailer, which was the one which hooked people, because barely anyone watched the second trailer. But first trailer, people were hyped. That's what people wanted to watch. They wanted to watch He-Man. They get involved in the show. He-Man gets killed off. And then, boom. You have this insufferable narcissistic woman. Right? And it could have been a man. If it was a man, it'd be exactly the same situation. So don't give me any of this misogynistic, sexist bollocks. Please, cry me a river elsewhere. It's a really bad argument. This woman then goes and stakes her claim that she's the centre of Eternia. She should be this individual that everyone bows to because Prince Adam lied to her. And it's like, come on. This is your friend that has sacrificed himself for the entire universe. For all of Eternia. He gave his life. And all you're concerned about is simply they lied. That's really bad writing. And bearing in mind, this show is not technically written for kids. It is technically written for adults. And we know that by the fact that it was marketed as a sequel to the original. That was on Netflix's page. It's a sequel to the original. Then obviously Kevin went around and said, no, it's a spiritual successor, blah, 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 blah. Fine. But Netflix marketed it as a sequel. That's bad writing. Most adults would look at that and go, who is this person? Who's Teela? Who the hell is she? What a horrible woman. Like, it's not good. No one likes her as a result of that. And this is the character that you're forced into seeing the world through. A woman who's so narcissistic. And you could say, well, you know, it's a journey of Teela trying to find herself, and she's obviously going to become the sorceress and all this kind of stuff. And that's valid to a point, but you don't have to paint her to be this weird narcissistic bitch at the same time. You can have her be disenfranchised, but not be so horrible at the same time, right? So let's get to some super chats here. So Richard Shepherd has become a member of the channel. Thank you so much. Chris Wilson says, I honestly have no dog in this fight, but I can sympathise as a Star Trek fan as it hasn't been good for over a decade. Fight the good fight, folks. It's not a fight. This is just an opinion. It's not a fight at all. People are well entitled to their points of view on all of this. It's fine. Like, I don't care. Jackless 1979 says, God help us if Teela finds out her mum is the sorceress. Well, this is the other thing, right? And that's for £5. So thank you so much for the super chat. The other side of this, right? The other side of this is the fact that, you know, everyone else seems to know who Teela is. Now, she's already painted herself out to be this horrible, horrible woman when it comes to lies and deceit. So how are they going to write themselves into a way by which she has a complete character shift? She's basically going to have a brain aneurysm to change the character that they have written for her, because it's bad writing is the point that I'm making it, because it is bad writing. But the fact that they've painted her to be this kind of, you know, anti-deceit at all odds, even to the point of, no, you can't mourn for your son's death because I matter most in this. I've been lied to. How are they gonna revolve around that when it comes to everyone else going, yeah, the sorceress is your mum, Teela? I mean, that's going to be earth-shattering for her, isn't it? That's going to be world-destroying. Do you not think? Or anyone that likes this show, you tell me how that flies nicely with the writing that they've done, because it doesn't fly. Again, it's just down to bad writing at the end of the day. Dr. Skullcrusher says Kevin Smith has literally turned into the villain from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which was him as a Hollywood shill. The irony is palpable. Thank you so much, Dr. Skullcrusher, for the $5 super chat. And we got Gerald Armstrong for $4.99. Says Skeletor to Kevin Smith. Skeletor to Kevin Smith. Come in, you lying boob. Oh dear, dear, that's funny. Thank you so much. Sugar Cartridge says the hero is dead. The bad guy won. And a show made for boys now has a butch female lead that complains all the time. Gosh, I can't imagine why guys might hate this. Not at all. That's for 100 Norwegian kroner, I believe. Now, I think the important part is, like, one thing I've always maintained, and I've said this before, so anyone shouting off about this sexist, misogynist crap, again, fuck off. Her being as muscular as she is actually isn't a problem, because if you look at everyone in the show, they've sized everyone up. And it would almost be strange if they didn't size Teela up. She is an athletic woman. Everyone is supposed to be heightened in that regard. I actually don't see an issue with that in any way, shape or form. And again, I've gone on record, I don't see an issue at all with Teela being a point of view character. You can sideline the main character if the narrative becomes about that character. That's fine, but not whilst also simultaneously belittling the character, hypocritically so, like in episode 2 when they do that flashback scene to the water fight and Skeletor and He-Man. He says something, one of his puns, and they say, yeah, well, quite literally, you know, Prince Adam was, you know, like a man in a 14-year-old in a man's body. Yes, it's like cringe that he said these kind of things, whilst then saying dumb fish puns to Merman. What are you doing? That's so stupid. It's real bad writing. So it's fine for you to say it, but when someone else says it, because he's He-Man, it's cringe. It's bad writing, guys. That's bad writing. And that kind of belittlement of the character is what annoys people. You know? That's not on. Rog H sent a thumbs up super sticker. Thank you so much. Please do hit that thumbs up button, guys. Would appreciate it. We've got Michael Von Doom drops in for $5. Says you move the Teela anger scene till later and have her mention that her knowing might have saved Adam. Yeah, that could work nicely. That could work nicely. Again, it's bad writing. Windvit says, long-time fan. Thank you for all the great Hellraiser content and everything else you do. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I do enjoy a bit of Hellraiser. Thank you. Nick Claydon become a channel member. Thank you so much. Action Hero 2000 says, in the original series, Tila was portrayed as compassionate, strong, and understanding, but now, exactly, it's a complete 180. Actually, the lethal diva says something very interesting. She says, I assume it's a she. She cries about them not telling her things, but all she does is the same thing to her new friend. Yeah, no, don't tell me that. No, I'm not going to tell you that. No. Utter nonsense. We've also got Chris Raposo for $2 Canadian says, where have all the good writers gone? Oh dear. So yeah, I mean, look, let's get back into the discussion of it all, right? Also, we've got 827 people watching, 850 people watching, but only 353 likes. Please do hit that like button. We can at least get to 400, can't we, guys? So at the end of the day, it just boils down to bad writing, right? Bad writing, bad marketing, and also bad PR from Kevin Smith. This is a man who has, and this is the point, right? This is the point with respect to the sort of messaging here, is that it's bad PR because at the end of the day, Kevin Smith was caught between a rock and a hard place. Like, just like he said on his He-Man Beyond podcast with Orko actor, is that, like, what am I supposed to say? Like, a year out, people are knowing the story. It's like, okay, two things. One, a year out, people are knowing the story. You need to be worried because that signifies that people are talking about it because they don't like it. Right? That's why. I.e., people working that, people that you work with on the show are so concerned by the story that you're making, are then leaking it to people. That's when you go and take stock. You stop and you go, it's not good. We need to sort this out. Like, that's bad. But not only that is the fact that, yeah, people did know the story, but you didn't have to come out and reply to people. To then lie. To say, no, this isn't the case. No, this doesn't happen. And he did lie. Like, he said, nope, this categorically doesn't happen. Nope, this categorically doesn't happen. X, Y, and Z. And unfortunately, it's just a lie. You didn't have to say anything, Kevin. But the fact that you lied whilst also signing off on this marketing piece for the trailer, and Netflix signing off on this marketing piece for the trailer, it really does show, in my head anyway, that they knew exactly what they were doing with the marketing. They knew that if they marketed it as the sequel to the 80s show, and they knew that they would, rather than, not addressing anything, address it, that it would get people invested in it, and then, rather than people not being invested in it, I guess. It's a shame. It's a shame. Kieran Hodgson says, Tila is going to take the news worse than how she did in episode 6 of the original 80s series. Yeah. Marshmallow says, does no one like death by Snoo Snoo? Dear oh dear. And this is the thing. Like, this is not a situation of women bad or anything like that. I don't think that's what anyone is saying here. But and again, there's some disingenuous arguments coming through because again, I look at the chat before I jump on just to get the tone of what people are thinking here, right? And the tone, there was some comments coming through saying, "Hey, like." Why are you segregating shows? It's like, we didn't segregate the shows. Mattel did. Or, it wasn't us. They had He-Man for boys and then they had She-Ra for girls, right? And when the pendulum only swings one way, i.e. shows which were traditionally speaking for boys or men get strong-armed into being shows for women at this point in time, then that becomes a bit of a concern, does it not? A justified concern. At that point, you go, well, why? They already have a show, especially when it's a companion piece show. It's like, hey, this is literally the same show but for girls. Like, there you go, have it, girls, right? Like, I mean, that was all just PR spinner. That was all marketing. That was, hey, there you go, buy our toys. But when one is the victim of this sort of focal change, and boys can't have their superhero character to look up to anymore, and it's such a disingenuous argument. People are always like, oh well, the boys are crying because they can't have their big strong blonde man to look up to, and it's all homoerotic, and it's like, really, that's what you're going to boil it down to? That's such a sad argument. Like, that's not an argument. Like, it's not an argument. It's like suddenly, I don't know, Kal-El becoming a woman, and people going, oh well, men don't want to look up to Superman anymore. It's like, wow, it's such nonsense. It's so bad. Anyway, so Richard Shepard says, this is the problem. Writers these days seem to have very few original, good ideas. So they have to tear down everything else to make their own writing look remotely good. I agree. I mean, this is not good writing, right? Like, I've just dismantled the writing, right? You don't swap out your point of view character for someone else. You don't swap out your main character, give us a point of view character, then write her to be narcissistic, someone who hates lies, and then have everyone lie to her, because that's setting up a massive conflict later down the line. That's not smart at all. That's like real bad. That's dumb writing. Fergal Kelly, Mr. H, I was going to say something so profound about He-Man, but thought, nah. But it would be above people's heads. Enjoy your content. Thanks, Fergal. Appreciate it. Raw Roach sent 19 Norwegian kroner. Thank you so much. Sugar Cartridge says, you like a show, legit, hate it, review, bombing. Yeah, I mean, this is the other thing that we need to discuss as well, right? This very disingenuous take from Kevin Smith that everyone's review bombing this show, which he even, I think he said on this He-Man Beyond podcast, that's not what he was saying. No, it's what you were saying. It is absolutely what you're saying. You're removing all criticism from other people, and it's just, you can't say that. You can't say that this person's opinion is invalid just because you don't like it. That's terrible, Kevin. Like, you marketed this show as a sequel, and people wanted that sequel. People wanted that first trailer that you released, because that was the only good trailer. Clearly people wanted that one. That was the good one. Everything else was meh. It's really bad. Gareth Rintmore says, is there data on how many women enjoy watching this? No, because that would all be private from... Interesting question, though. Like, interesting. That would be all private from Netflix. They won't ever release that. And you won't be able to independently verify it either, unfortunately. So, what I wanted to do, ladies and gents, was actually sit around and we're gonna watch part of the Fat Man Beyond podcast, where basically at the point where he starts to defend himself, and some of the just horrendous stuff that comes out, right? Because it really is like it's bad. It's real bad defense. I think personally. So I'm gonna show you some of that, and then we're gonna kind of talk about that. I think you guys will like that. Hopefully you guys will like it anyway. Let me just shuffle this on over here. So hopefully now you've sort of seen my take on this is not a case of like, oh, it's woke this or woke that, any of that kind of bollocks. It's not what I'm talking about. It's just bad writing and a combination of bad marketing. Hopefully that sort of shows you that now anyway. And again, this is the kind of the lying part of it all. And it is lies. 100% it is lies. There we go. Right. So here we go. This is the Orko actor, Griffin Newman and Kevin Smith. It's about 40 minutes in, right? It's about 40 minutes in. Then he starts discussing this. And this has 119,000 views. It has 3.4 thousand likes and 14,000 dislikes. Or 13,000 dislikes, sorry. This is not review bombing. This is not review bombing in any way. This is people just not liking it. So let's take a listen. You're gonna have to let me know about the audio levels on this because I'm not overly sure whether it's going to be any good or not. So please do keep me informed and let me know. But I want to talk about this. I want to sort of break this down. In fact, actually, let's put me in the corner. There we go. We'll have a look at this at the same time. So let's have a look. Quickly, Nick Claydon says, bad marketing is perhaps the biggest crime here, considering it's a spiritual successor to an extended toy commercial. Still, better to get the disappointment in now instead of season 8. Yes. Oh, there's no audio. God damn. Let's have a look. Should be. No audio. Bum.
Greg is cool. You know?
And somewhere Greg's watching going, that's how he feels about me?
Audio now? Was there audio then? Or low sound? Low sound, no sound. Let's have a listen. No sound. Oh, I can hear it, but it was too quiet. Oh, okay. It was too quiet. That's fine.
Right, yeah. No offense, Greg. But like, even if it's not Depp, it's like Jar Jar had to mean something, and instead they make Jar Jar the villain. Again. He's the guy who cowardly votes in favor of the Palpatine thing, and it felt like an easy way out, you know? And it's the Orko thing of just...
So just as a bit of background, right? Whilst I sweat my boomer crap out. Just as a bit of background, he starts... This is the Orko actor coping hard with people criticising the death of Orko, right? And I think it's really it's disingenuous and not particularly nice either, because at the end of the day, people are upset that they killed Orko, right? And their stance is, oh yeah, but you're so fucking stupid because you what, they're never going to bring him back. Duh. It's like, oh, come on now. You should be happy that people are upset that you killed him, because it shows that people care. Not criticising that people are stupid that they think that he's never going to come back, right? Real bad. There's a bit of a delay mistake. Yeah, no, I know there is.
Like, make what he does mean something, and just fucking test the cynicism of the people who think that they're too cool for Orko. You know, and I see people like, you know, you've alluded to it several times tonight, but the people who are addicted to being angry online.
Here you go. People not liking the fact that Kevin Smith killed Orko. From the Orko actor, it is people that are addicted to being angry online. This kind of argument removes all constructive criticism from the board. It's quite simply, I don't want to hear what you say, because I think it's all just down to you just being a horrible little person. I don't care what you say. Your opinion is invalid to me. That's what this Orko actor is saying. It's horrible. He literally says, well, we can boil it down to the people being angry online. The people that are addicted to being angry online. That's horrible. Horrible stance to take. Dare says it's not woke, just bad writing by woke writers. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I just said bad writing, to be fair.
That there was this whole thing about like, oh, Kevin killed Orko because he hates Orko and he wants to punish the Orko fans. And it's like, no, the idea was to make Orko mean something. And also, we all know, especially in sci-fi and fantasy, If a character is dead, they are dead forever, and there is no way they can ever come back.
Like, come on, that's you belittle.
So we should
I
all
honestly
take this very seriously as the final time we will ever see Orko.
that's the one that like
And that's when you know you've really got under their skin. Like when that's your comeback, you've really got under their skin, haven't you? That's a horrible comeback to have. Like that's awful.
like I honestly I can kind of get when people are like, oh, I wanted like more He-Man in this show and whatnot. You know, I want to say like, oh, just fucking wait.
Right.
Like episode. I'm not. Should I? Fucking why not?
You can just say episode 6 goes hard.
Episode 6. At the end of episode 6, we do something that they've never done in the franchise before.
You're gonna get more He-Man than you think you wanted.
And episode 7 contains no bullshit. And you know, I know I'm going to say this, and then a very, very vocal contingency of the internet is going to say I'm lying or something
Apologize!
like that.
Atone!
That I'm baiting and switching or something like that. But I promise you, on my child's life, in episode 7, there is a Skeletor and spoilers, man, fight that tops anything. That's one of the most brutal fucking fights I've seen. The only brutal fight in animation I've seen more brutal was in Invincible when he fucking held his kid through the trains.
Well, you haven't watched much anime then, have you, Kevin? Because anime is much more brutal than that. But the fact remains here is that you've gone, right, okay, well, and this just comes back to the bad writing situation, is you've gone, right, so we can belittle we can swap out the character, which is, again, I've said absolutely fine if the narrative then becomes about the character. But then you move to, right, okay, well, this character we're going to belittle. Like, again, episode 2, it belittles the character of He-Man. It says, well, you know, he was just a 14-year-old boy trapped in a man's body and all this kind of crap. It just belittles the fact that, you know, they do the puns. It hangs a lantern. And the thing is, it makes sense to hang a lantern on the sort of 80s puns and the moralistic sort of approach that they had. It's funny. Like, I get it. That it's actually quite funny. It would make sense if they did that across the board, but they do that and then they have other people with the shitty puns. And that's when it becomes, right, okay, well, that's literally just belittling of He-Man. So you can do all of that and then you can go, yeah, but guys, wait, because we're actually going to have this really cool fight. But you haven't got anyone on side at that point. That's bad writing. At that point, people are going to say, well, mate, like you've shit on my lap. I don't care that you've got me a new pair of trousers. Like you've taken a dump on my lap. Like you've pissed me off. Yeah, the new pair of trousers is nice, but you've shat on my fucking lap. Like people are just gonna go, nah, this is not cool. You know? Simon Butterfield says Kevin Smith is a liar. And the Orko actor is a huge D. Yeah.
Shit. Which, to be fair, was good parenting. But
yeah.
But very brutal, very bloody and stuff. We don't, you know, ours is not, doesn't take it to that place. But between these two characters, it's so fucked up. Pat and Adam, our directors, you know, we wrote like they fight. And it's not Skeletor, it's Skelegod. Because as we know, he gets the power and shit.
Skelegod. I hope you've got a better name than Skelegod.
And, you know, we have this, we do this thing. And so we wrote about like they fight. Pat and Adam did this brilliant.
Also, just to pause briefly, Nathan Norman says, why should I care for a fight when he's done everything he could to force me away? Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not, you know, when you've already laid down the framework in terms of the writing by which, you know, we're not going to like this. Like, we're told not to like this person in this show by people's actions. Why should I care? Ice Bear, no, that's completely wrong. I don't only read donation comments. I literally have just read one out that wasn't. So, egg on your face, boy.
It's fucking sequence that goes on for 7 minutes where they just beat the shit out of each other in like insanely entertaining ways, using magic, using fucking bear fists and shit. At one point,
they grab fists off of bears and use them to.
At one point, he, there's original drawing of He-Man, the original first drawing of him. He's got like an axe and a fucking shield, and he looks very Conan-like. The character was very much derived from Conan. Yeah. I'm sure you've seen the Toys That Made Us Masters of the Universe episode, but they were going to make Conan toys, and then they saw Conan, and they're like, there's fucking boobies in this. And so they decided to make something a little more kid-friendly, and that's what Masters of the Universe became and stuff. So there's the image that they first drew of the character, like we get to incorporate. We try, like we just, that's why like when people are like, you're not a He-Man fan, I'm like, yeah, right.
Well, but the thing is, Kevin, you have actually said you're not a He-Man fan twice. You did it once on, this is again another lie. And I don't really want to pull it up, like, because people can say, well, you can become a fan of something. 100%, of course you can. But it's also disingenuous to not acknowledge that. You did say in a tweet that you weren't a fan. There's some footage of you saying, no, I'm not a fan. That's disingenuous. It's really, really disingenuous. Huge, in fact. Real bad. Real bad. Not cool. Not cool.
You're so goddamn deep in this show that it's like, I would say this as non-antagonistically as possible.
Yeah.
People can dislike the show. That is obviously a legal opinion.
Oh my God. As the guy who made fucking yoga hosers, right. I'm used to that.
People are allowed to dislike
I have no problem with people being like, you suck and this fucking sucks. That's fine.
But like the thing, it goes deep, it goes hard. This was the other thing I was going to say.
When anyone says, yeah, you can hate the show, but that's when you know there's going to be some massive cope coming.
Like, The Tick was a show that got canceled prematurely, right?
Did it?
Unfortunately, yeah. If you ask me, seasons? I didn't get to buy a beach house, so yeah, that's premature. I'm just kidding. I hate the beach. We did 2 seasons, and I bring this up because in this streaming era, I think we're all used to people going, God, we had the whole thing planned as a 5-season arc. And then they drop it after 2 seasons, and you're left with blue balls, and it's unresolved, right? And that was certainly a thing where Ben Edlund came in, and season 3 is this, we're going to introduce this, and like people were saying, why aren't you taking Chairface Chippendale and all these characters from the comics and bringing them in? Well, we're working up to that, and then we never got to work up to that. And people are frustrated, and I get it. You had an aborted plan, and then you feel like, well, I wasted all this time getting into something. Not that it's wasting time. The first 2 seasons of The Tick are very excellent. You should watch them, please. But there's that kind of thing. And a thing that I have been trying to communicate as much as possible anytime I have a microphone in front of my stupid face is that 10 episodes were written all at once. Netflix has chosen to release them in 2 batches. This isn't a thing where it's like, well, we hope we get a second season.
This all came from him starting to say, you can hate this show all you want. That's a legal requirement. That's a legal right. But now he's going on to say, you can hate the show, but actually, fuck you, because Netflix is... They greenlit it all. Like, what is the point that this guy is trying to make? That, it doesn't matter that you hate it, so fuck you, I guess. What a strange point to make. Finbar White says, evening mistakes, Motley Crue, Kevin sold his soul. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We will see.
I thought we were talking about this.
No.
Revelation. 10 episodes.
Right.
And the back 5 are done.
Right.
Bear just finished the score for episode 10 with his live orchestra and stuff, and it sounds fucking astounding. Now that his score is done, we're finished. But Pat and Adam have sent in every fucking shot. It's locked. So it's finished. I know some people online are like, you ain't coming back. This shit's getting canceled.
All of this came from him literally saying, again, all of this came from him literally saying, you're well within your right to hate the show, but... And they're like, yeah, it's all done. Ha ha ha. What a strange... Weird. Very, very weird. Jeffrey Peake says, the action figure literally says Skelly God. So is he implying that when Adam has the power that He-Man is a god? Ridiculous. Oh, yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah, I guess so. Maybe. Yeah.
It's like in the can, right?
It can't not come out,
right? And not only that, it was 10 episodes all written at the same time, right? And it's like a story that certainly leaves the door open for more adventures, but I think tells a complete, satisfying story in relationship to itself. In a perfect world, they would have released all 10. I ain't bitching. I'm happy they released them the way they did, especially because 5 is such a great cliffhanger.
But in a perfect world, they were released all 10. And I'm not saying that would have assuaged everybody. There would definitely be some people that are still
First
like,
5
you
episodes,
fucking suck.
you're kind of clicking up the roller coaster.
But
The last 5
if we
years,
had done all 5, then the thing that everyone's crying about the most, or we're like, where the fuck is, like, this has been the only thing that's frustrating to me. Again, I don't mind if people are like, you fucking suck and it sucks. Like, I'm used to that. But in some ways, it just feels like some of these people have never seen a TV program or a movie ever.
Well, there you go, ladies and gents. I don't mind if you say that it sucks, but actually, it sounds like you've never seen a fucking show before, so fuck you. Your opinion doesn't matter. You don't have to belittle people at the same time. I mean, what are you doing? What a very, very strange... I mean, this has been going on for like 6 minutes now that they've been defending themselves, ladies and gents. 6 minutes they've been doing this. And they go round and round the houses. By the way, this literally goes on for about half an hour. We're going to try and watch it all because it's very, very funny. At each moment you pick up the, yeah, no, I don't mind. Yeah, but, and this is the lying. This is the disingenuous nature of it all, and it is disingenuous.
This is the
because
thing.
the idea of like of Orko.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to telegraph anything.
Yeah.
But just bear with me, kids.
He's coming back.
If you watch
obviously.
that episode 4 with Orko, and we see what Orko does and stuff, it is very close to another magic figure in fiction who also gives his life in a very important moment in the story.
Orko literally says the same line, go back to your shadows.
Does anybody know what character that is?
Gandalf, obviously. Come on.
Absolutely.
And he stayed dead forever, right?
Because once Gandalf died, that shit was over.
That was done.
So anybody like watching, like, I can't, like, there's a guy who's just like, you're a fucking like terrible storyteller because you killed off Orko forever. And I'm like, forever, bro? Have you ever seen one of these fucking things?
Yeah, what are you
like?
I mean, come on now. Don't look. I think people vent their frustration that you killed Orko, or they're venting their frustration of the show in general, and it comes out with misguided statements such as "you killed Orko."
Oh my god! And even within the first 5 episodes, someone dies. 2 people fucking die.
Yeah.
They come back. Even the tree guy fucking comes back. Like, so at that point, you're like, are you fucking serious? Or are you just denying reality? Like,
I saw
do
a
you
guy...
think, here, even better,
Yes.
do you think Mattel, I'd walk in, I was like, you know what I want to do? Kill Orko.
Yeah. Done. Money.
Again, some real disingenuous comments coming through in this chat. Cabal 97 incels unite. Nothing. We're not talking about that. We're talking about bad writing. If you can articulate a valid counterpoint to bad writing, great, I'll have you on the show. But if not, I mean, keep mouthing off like a child. Marshmallow says, okay, taking my fluff for a walk. Have a good one, Mistakes and fellow chat pirates. Yeah, obviously, because I'm trying to do this whilst also flitting back to the chat. You know, I am currently only reading super chat comments. I will get to normal comments here and there. Like, of course I will. I always do. People know that about me here. But yeah, just real bad, disingenuous statements there. You know, because of this, you know, what an arsehole this person is. Like, what?
Yeah, do you know what they would do? There's the door, Silent Bill. You know, like... And again, people are like, oh, man, this is a fucking Tila show and stuff. Like, yes, as I said from the beginning, Tila plays a very prominent part in it and stuff. And if you follow closely and read between the lines, you see where we're going with it. We're continuing with the classic story that they began years ago.
Yes, they do. So this is the bad writing part from whoever that idiot was that just called everyone an incel. The thing is here, that is bad writing. You're continuing a storyline where... she's the sorceress. She's going to become the next sorceress. People clearly know she's going to be the next sorceress. Everyone around her knows this. People know it. They've been trying to tell her. But you started off that entire narrative thread by having her throw a massive hissy fit that people lied to her about Prince Adam not being He-Man. Right? That's how you've established this character. So much so that this woman literally screams and shouts at a mother who has just lost her son. How do you think she's going to react when she now learns that people were aware she was going to be the next sorceress? I mean, you know, you can sit here and shout bloody incel all you like, but you're not constructing a good counter-argument to that point. That's bad writing. But no, if it makes you feel better just writing incel, well, fantastic. You look like an imbecile.
Episode 6
Yes.
of the fucking show is Tila's quest. If I can drop some fucking receipts
Episode
here.
6 of
Original
He-Man and the
Filmation.
Masters of the
Correct.
Universe. Yeah.
It's called Tila's quest.
What happens in that episode? Written by Paul Dini. What happens
that
in that
episode? 6 out of fucking 200. I mean, they made so many episodes of that show within 2 years, right?
Yeah.
6 front loaded. The very beginning of the thing is about Tila's backstory and her destiny,
Yes.
which is she is adopted. Man-at-Arms is not her biological father.
You know.
I'm talking about a thing that happens
I know, but if
in
we're
that
fucking sequelizing,
filmation.
shut the fuck up.
I'm just saying.
But in any event,
No,
what
but
he's
I'm
saying and
saying
what
this-
he's oversaying and getting
I'm
us in
saying-
fucking
I'm
trouble
saying to your
is,
defense is you're not pulling this out of your ass. That's been there for 40
his
years.
point is that like we didn't fucking create anything new. One
Yeah.
of the things that we did
From
was
the
like,
very beginning.
let's find the most interesting storyline, and this storyline was interesting.
It was there the
tied
whole
into the
time.
storyline.
But you front-loaded it by making this woman insufferable and a woman that is anti-deceit and lie. Like, that's bad writing. Sugar Cartridge says, Mr. H is the very opposite of an incel, by the way. Well, I appreciate that. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Apparently, Ellie Moses says he sent a super chat, but you got charged. Nothing came through, my dude. I'll have to say it again. Just write it again, and I'll have a look. But nothing came through. Weird that you would have got charged. You can. Yeah, I don't get that. That's really odd. But anyway, let's get back to it, shall we?
We wanted
It's
to do,
been
which is
on the
hold
table.
the fuck on or go fuck. It's annoying as your fucking character. What we were trying to do, of course, was the key to telling an extended He-Man story. If we were telling He-Man episodics like they did with He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, you know, everything just resets at the end of the episode. Obviously, we're telling one long episode that's chopped into stories, chopped into chapters. The key to the story is basically it's keep away. You have to keep away with the sword. Like whoever gets the fucking sword becomes the master of the universe. So in order to make an interesting story, the first thing you do is take the most powerful man in the universe and try to fucking keep the sword away from him. How we do it in episode 1 is he gives his fucking life. He sacrifices his life. Now, you know, I've been accused of lying for saying that that I'm like He-Man does no stepping aside. If He-Man giving his life for the entire universe is stepping aside, then Tony Stark stepped aside. Jesus Christ stepped aside. Like, it's a messianic moment, and if you follow, like, you know...
Okay. It is, again, this is where it comes down to bad writing. It absolutely is a massive moment that is actually downplayed by your writing. Your writers downplayed that moment by having the then new point of view character be a character that just removes it from the board as anything special. Oh, you sacrificed yourself for all of Eternia. I don't care, because you lied to me. Now you tell me how that and that portrayal moving forwards, right, in all of part 1, signifies to me that is a messianic moment. You tell me. Tell me that that's something which is massive to be lauded over at that point when your writers wrote the point of view character as someone that just downplays it all the times. You know? Kieran Hodgson says, this is why I spent the whole live stream in disbelief, Mr. H, and had to email you. Yeah, no, I appreciate that email, dude. Queen Nida says, wasn't Tila the daughter of Man-at-Arms and the sexy magic bird lady? Yeah, well, yeah, adopted Man-at-Arms. Yeah.
Classic literature, the hero's arc, like, bless you, it's where the hero has to go. Eventually, you have to sacrifice your life for some greater cause than yourself. No greater fucking sacrifice than that. So with us, we were like, okay, like, we don't have the benefit of just resetting every episode. We're telling one long episode and whatnot. And let's try to tell a story about what happens when people who thought they knew things, find out they were fucking lied to while we're playing keep away with the sword.
Yeah.
So the first 5 that everybody could see, like to me, maybe because I know the back 5 and I'm in the back 5, like the first 5 I haven't dealt with in months. They've been done and sitting there. We're still dealing with back 5 right now and stuff. But the point of the first 5, of course, is to set up the next 5. It's an arcing story that goes like this. And there's like when folks are going like, oh man, like you fucking, what's the word? They emasculated He-Man. I'm like, by making him sacrifice himself?
No, so I disagree with people's comments that they emasculated He-Man. They didn't emasculate He-Man. They do belittle the character. I mean, there are words to the dialogue does belittle the character. It does the whole story arc of Teela belittles the character's sacrifice, right? It removes the weight and gravity of the sacrifice, right? That's just writing. That's what they've done. But they don't emasculate the character in any way. They have drawn Prince Adam to be more of a boy, effeminate, sort of effeminate. They call him Fleabag or Flea Man and stuff like that. But in doing so and calling him Flea Man, they also say, but he's, one of the only ones that actually chose to hold his normal form here, blah, blah, blah. And those elements are actually quite good. Like, I'll give him his due. But you literally belittled the character numerous times.
Say all of Eternia? Like, that's not sidelining, or he's not stepping aside. That's heroic. Like, that's the point of a hero and stuff.
Right, he didn't go, too hot for me. Where's the exit? It's
exactly.
Like, I also feel like to come to your defense, the thing that frustrates me so much about this like lie thing, right?
Yeah.
Is that people are coming up, knocking on your door and saying like, is it true that this happens in episode 4? Fucking 9 months before the show comes out.
But you didn't have to say anything. You didn't have to say anything. You could have just left it. Look at all the rumors and lies that have been coming out about the Batman, right? Look at everything that's been said about the Batman. Has anyone once come out and addressed it? No, they have not. Why have they not addressed it? Because they know that they're just lies. They don't need to address them. It's nonsense. You don't have to address anything.
Well, how are you supposed to answer that question? You want people to watch the thing in real time. You want to see the story unfold. You don't want to preload those expectations. You got to get tricky with your words to be able to weave around these traffic cones. And I
didn't even think I was tricky with the words. I literally said, Teela does no stepping aside.
I think you were, yeah.
She has a friend who's a girl, but not a girlfriend. She does not wield the sword of power.
Right.
I'll just tell you right now, man, fucking, this is another spoiler. And Netflix can be like, shut your fucking mouth. But she never wields the sword ever in any of the episodes.
That's
like, so everything
yeah.
I said was like God's honest fucking truth. And a bunch of people are like, you better apologize for lying. I'm like, I didn't lie. All of those things are fucking factually true.
But it's like rolling up to George Lucas and going like, why haven't you acknowledged that Darth Vader is Luke's father? And he's like, it's 1975. Slow your roll. I haven't shot the first one yet. Wait your turn.
I feel, look, the folks have been saying, you apologize to Clownfish. Clownfish was the operation that website and video show and stuff, whatever it is. And I'm not dismissing it. I have to be so fucking careful because anything I say, they're like, you're attacking Clownfish. And I'm like, not at all. I've always been very fucking kind to Clownfish.
They talk so slow, I'm just going to speed it up. Sugar Cartridge sent 20 Norwegian kroner, says Kevin's hat does not help his grow up arguments. Yeah, agree with that.
Regardless, Clownfish, people are saying you lied to Clownfish. You got to apologize. And I honestly fucking believe with my heart, I put my child's life on it. None of those things I said are fucking lies. They're all factual shit. I will apologize for like leaning into it and tweeting and then hitting it again, tweeting again later on, simply to obfuscate from what I felt like was the thing I didn't want anyone to know. Same day the Clownfish's tweet goes up, there's some other tweet that said something to the effect, and again, we're spoiling the show, so hopefully everyone's seen it, that said something to the effect of, I hear they kill Adam in episode 1. So right then and there, I'm like, Jesus Christ, we're like fucking months.
But this is the thing, right? He even then, he continues on to say here, Jesus Christ, we're months away from the release of this show. We're months away. And at that point, when people are leaking those kind of things, because that's what it would have come from a leak. It's all from a leak. At that point, you go, right, okay, goddamn. You know, why are people leaking this? That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all.
Away from this thing coming out. If this out, it's like, oh man, that's gonna suck. And not because I'm like, oh, they'll all hate me and shit for emasculating He-Man. More because like I just didn't want to spoil what was a cool thing.
Not only that, I mean, they're putting the spoiler. Oh yes, yes, please,
so,
yes, internet.
While I was sitting there going like, oh shit, they're gonna start talking about this. Over here is a conversation that I can address. Like that's like where they're like, hey man, I hear He-Man steps aside, Tila, you know, has a girl, all the things I said. So I was like, I can answer this and maybe take attention away from this over here. And mercifully, that never got louder.
Yeah.
Like nobody ever knew. So that when the first episode played for people, they were surprised.
Yeah.
So I hope. And some far too surprised and very vocal about it on Twitter. Which like, again, I understand, like I'm a fan of things. Got
a super chat from Flebiak Brothers. Says, biggest slap in the face is seeing He-Man die immediately right after he gave up heaven to be stabbed minutes later at his greatest moment to kick ass. Well, apparently he's not dead. So like, you know, that's fine. Like we'll sort of, you know, row over that one. Dennis McNabb, again, being 51, you should be able to come up with better arguments that are actually, you know, not in bad faith. No one's here crying over the cartoon. We're deconstructing people's arguments and discussing how it's bad writing. But yeah, no, Dennis, like, if you're 51, if you're truly 51, you should be embarrassed by that level of cognitive ability. You should be much smarter than that, Dennis. 51 and can't believe how many channels are crying over a cartoon. Yeah, no, we're not. That's not what's happening here. Go back to school, Dennis.
Don't get that vocal if somebody does a thing that I don't care for and stuff like that. Like I love Twin Peaks. I didn't care for the Showtime sequel years later, but you didn't see me on the net going, what the fuck, David Lynch, you ruined my childhood and shit like that. It's just like, generally for me, you'll never hear about the shit that I don't like. That's just kind of the way like I operate and stuff. But as a fan of things, I understand what people are like, it's not what I fucking wanted it to be and stuff. And that's absolutely fair. I'm a man of peace. I don't like fighting with fucking people. It so irritates me that this is going on, that there is a contingency of people. And mind you, like we're talking about it like it's everything and stuff. It's a very vocal contingency that I pointed out. Like at one point I talked to my Netflix friends and I was like, I mean, did you see this? Like, are we in trouble? And they were very kind. And this is not meant to mock anybody, but they were like, Kevin, do you think we decide to pick up other seasons of shows based on the audience rating at Rotten Tomatoes? And I was like, you don't? And they're like, fuck no. And so at that point, like it didn't matter. And then, I mean,
at that point, it doesn't matter. Your opinion doesn't matter at that point. You hear this? Your opinion doesn't matter. That's a shame, isn't it? That's a shame. That's not how to win people.
This like is here. I'm like, I don't, this ain't me being smarmy. I know someone's going to paint it otherwise and shit like that. This is just me being honest. If you don't like something, kids, don't fucking talk about it.
That's right. If you don't like something, don't talk about it. Now, I think that there's something in that, in the sort of element of, you know, if you're not going to construct a, no, I think that's bad to say as well, because some people don't have the intelligence to construct and properly articulate their points, right? And that's why, you know, there are individuals who can articulate the points on behalf of those individuals. But I think there is something in it, you know, where people are just looking for things to be angry. 100%, not necessarily related to this. I disagree with that, because I think most people can articulate the points of why this is not that great.
Yeah, because when you draw attention to it, somebody else goes, what's that? So there was an article that went up, a few articles. The one I saw was on Uproxx, and there's a few other sites that talked about how we were review bombed, which is a practice where a bunch of people like fucking hit a project hard with reviews. I retweeted it and people are like, hey man, fucking you only got bad reviews because it sucks. It's not review bombing and shit. These aren't bots. These are real fucking people.
Eat my butthole.
Yes. I get it.
Yeah.
I'll happily eat your butthole. Yeah. I was not saying
all
that.
You had to do was ask.
Yeah,
ask kindly.
Totally. I'm right there.
Yeah.
But this was, you know, like I all that butthole talk really distracted me.
Sorry. You're hungry.
I am. I'm ready to eat a fucking butthole after 160 fucking hours and shit. Fuck, what were we talking about?
The review bombing, putting attention on a thing you don't like. Yes. Streisand effect.
The Streisand effect. That's absolutely right. There's an articles talking about this review bombing. I have nothing to do with the articles. I retweeted the one article and I said, like, oh, at least we're in good company. They did this to the boys and Captain Marvel. Many people were very quick to point out they only did this to the boys because they were putting out one episode a week. And Captain Marvel, like, why would you compare yourself to that? If those are your two, you know, fucking rocks are standing on your fucking shit like that. So, you know, when people hate a thing, they fucking find a way to beat you on every point and every turn. And so I didn't they were acting like I said that we'd been review bombed. I was literally fucking quoting an article that was up. That review bombing thing, like it was so weird because I'd been a witness to it from the outside in other cases. I remember when that happened to the boys, and I was like, how strange. And when it happened to Captain Marvel, never did I thought we'd be at the epicenter of it. But
oh yeah, never did I think we'd be at the epicenter of review bombing. Right? Okay.
There we were and stuff. And so naturally, I was like, oh my God, what does this mean? Like, is it going to bum anybody out, or are we going to fucking be in trouble? And the folks upstairs, like, put it on Front Street. And this is not me being a dick, man. This is just me kind of explaining, like, how counterproductive it is to go all in against something you hate. Their reaction was like, Kevin, this is amazing for the show. And I was like, yeah, but all these people are mad. They were like, yes, it looks like about 5,000 to 10,000 people have written nasty things. And they were like, but we have
5,000 to 10,000 people. Well, I mean, there's 13,000 dislikes on your video. I've got, I don't know, like nearly 100,000 views on my my review of your thing. Most of the comments are in favor of it. It's just a very disingenuous stance. Again, your opinion doesn't matter because other people's opinions are better. Like, what? Okay, fine.
210 million subscribers. And I was like, oh, so mathematically we're safe? They're like, safe as kittens. So like, you can do it. And I ain't trying to stifle anybody's freedom of speech. Absolutely, go ahead and stuff. But it won't do what you think it's going to do.
Yeah. Well, it won't do what people think it's going to do because they've already greenlit the second half, which is fair enough. But will this revitalize the franchise? No. Will this be good for Mattel? Does Mattel want this? Do they want these things coming out, and being disliked? No, of course they don't. That's, again, disingenuous. Come on.
I too, like them, was like, oh my God, this is a bad thing. And they were intending to do a bad thing. And I'm not saying it's a nefarious plot or bots and shit, but all the people, like, it's a little suspect that are, we're, what is it called? Fucking certified fresh. Yeah. And then our audience rating is like in the toilet and shit.
That's full suspect because there's never been a disparity, Kevin, between critics and fans, right? Right? That's full suspect because critics liked it, but fans didn't. That's suspect. Really, really, Kevin, please. Holy Whatever sent 199 says these two are douche and douchier. We got a popcorn super sticker from Raw Roach. Thank you so much. I mean, it's just so disingenuous, isn't it? To sit there and say, oh, well, it's super suspect because we had, critics liked it and fans hate it. Oh, it's super suspect. Please.
Right. But so just so everyone doesn't say like he thinks it's a fucking conspiracy. I'm not saying that. That's what I read. I don't know what to think at this point and shit like that. But I do know this much, based on what I was told by the people that like pay my salary, that doesn't matter to them. Like they literally don't care. Somebody did send me tweets where like I was on Comic Book Men one season, and I was like, yeah, I was a big He-Man fan and shit like that. And they're like, aha! Like as if Netflix was gonna be like, Kevin, you should have told us.
Yeah, no, but you shouldn't. Well, that's not what people's point was. The point of you being on Comic Book Men and saying you were never a He-Man fan is that you've then turned around and said that you were.
There's the door, like that shit doesn't like matter to anybody who writes a fucking check or something like that. So yeah. you can like rumble, young man, rumble by all means. I was 20 once and I fucking hated things as well. So and pop off as much as you like. Come at me on Twitter. My Twitter stream is like honestly about 95% love fest of people who are like, this is amazing and blah blah, very complimentary. I thank all those people. And then 5% of you ruined my childhood, you're a cuck, fucking a lot of very derogatory. And then some people who aren't even derogatory who just write long tweets about how I ruined it and stuff like that. Long thoughtful tweets. So in that stream, it's still positive. Like it's like I'm like. Other than, me going like, oh my God, this Uproxx article and reaching out to the powers that be. The moment that they were like, oh, what are you doing? Like, don't worry about it. Suddenly I got to kick back and like literally enjoy what's going on. I mean, we worked real hard to pull this
You were
together.
sweating bullets this morning when I showed up at the stash. Yeah. And I said like, look, I'm reading fucking everything against my therapist's suggestion.
That's what I got to get. Somebody in my life was like, why are you reading this?
That's also not true. My therapist retired years ago, which is why I'm reading the comments. But I said like, look, man, I'm reading all of it and most of it is so positive. And the people who are positive for the exact reasons we hope. And then we got to spend the day actually, after a pandemic, coming face to face with people and having them really say what they,
At
you
the
know.
Revelation celebration at the
Yes,
stash.
plug. But that stuff
Can't plug something
means a
that's
lot.
sold out.
I can plug things. No, because people listening to this in the future, they've invented time travel, and they're like, I'll go back, I'll get a ticket for
Could you
that.
imagine? That would mean we might have time travelers in this audience as well.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Anybody here kill baby Hitler?
I'll say,
Bearing in mind, remember, this guy he says he doesn't care. He's literally just spent 20 minutes defending himself. Richard Shepard, these idiots can't even put together a good argument. How can they make a good show? Yep, fair enough.
My man was like,
congrats. Thank you, Mazel. I'm Jewish. I can make the joke. The thing I was gonna say, this is once again, people allowed to dislike the thing, allowed to criticize it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? Yeah. This is the thing that bums me out. Is a lot of the sentiment I have seen, the negative sentiment comes with this tinge of like, why did you waste your time doing this or putting this in the show? Real fans don't care about that, right? And inevitably, a lot of that stuff will circle back to the presence of female characters or people of color.
Very disingenuous argument. The argument that they made King Grayskull black is actually a reasonable, rational argument to say, well, why did you do that? Because Prince Adam is supposed to be a descendant of King Grayskull, right? So it does seem on face value to be a very strange thing to suddenly swap out. I don't think anyone really had an issue with women. I don't see anyone saying Evil Lynn, was terrible. A lot of people, I really liked Evil Lynn. Thought Evil Lynn was good. I think the bad writing comes down to Teela more than anything. But that's, again, just disingenuous. Very, very disingenuous points to say, actually, your opinion doesn't matter.
For certain subjects, themes, or this or that.
There were certain hot buttons for
right.
a lot of people.
Haircuts.
Teela, of course, is one.
People furious about haircuts.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, man, that's like ripped off. I was like, yeah, it was ripped off. We stole it from Kyler Lee on Supergirl.
Yeah,
she did that to her hair one year. I was like, oh, looks wicked. Let's do that.
Yeah, she looks awesome. But yes, it is always framed with this, like, that's not what the real fans care about. Why are you doing this stuff that's going to go wasted on real fans? And the thing I really don't like, and I say this as non-antagonistically as possible, is fans defining which fans count. Other fans count. Yeah. Because you're looking at something like Motu that's 40 years old, has had all these different things. I was saying to you earlier today, the first stuff written for Motu was the mini comics that came with the figures, because they didn't have a show on the air yet.
Yep.
And when the show comes out, they negate a lot of the stuff in the mini comics. And you see fans online who go, once they started the cartoon show, the thing was over for me. Right? I was out. Then they ruined the character. I liked him better when he was a barbarian. He went and met a green lady and she gave him a harness. Right? That was for me.
That is the mini comic.
Right. That's the last time He-Man was good for me. And then there are people who go, it ends when Filmation ends. I only like the 2000 Expert. I like the comics. I like this. I like that. Right? People like it for different reasons. And different people like it for different reasons.
Very true.
And these people.
And some people, there are a lot of people who seem mad at us who were big fans of the Mike Young production 2002 version. They're like, you fucked that up. And I'm like, but we couldn't even touch that. That wasn't allowable for us to play with and stuff. So we didn't fuck that up. And then you realize that's their masters of the universe.
Right. And that's no more or less valid. Right. And the other part of it is some of the people who are not just fans of this thing, but like pillars of the community, people who are hosting podcasts and doing fan art and doing cosplay and writing the bios on the back of the action figures, are people who are part of the communities that you're saying don't matter and don't count as real fans. Not to mention the people who work on these things themselves, built the building blocks of the things you're loving in the first place, have played these roles, have written these parts, have done this animation, what have you. It's a big bummer when I see people going like, why are you trying to please them? They're not real fans.
So all of this argument, right, is hilarious, as Nathan Norman states here. This is the creators defining what fans count. Is it any different? Because this is the creators of He-Man saying, well, we define whose opinions actually matter to us. You're not a real fan, or your criticism doesn't matter because we say it doesn't matter. We only want the opinion of this person. I mean, it's so bloody hypocritical.
Who are you to say? You're a real fan.
Fergal Kelly, what a load of bull, yeah.
And I'm not going to tell you you're not a real fan just because you're being a dick to these other fans. Yeah. That's your choice. You're a real fan.
It's always been fandom, though, as far back as I can recall. It's a bunch of people dressed like stormtroopers going, look at those fucking jerks dressed like Vulcans.
Right.
But, it's tribal. I've always gotten that. And going into this, I mean, I'll be honest with you, like, I've always felt like, oh, my God, everyone will love this. Like, it's so sweet. And it's not even me taking credit going, I'm a great writer.
It's so sweet. I don't understand. In what world do you think it's sweet that Teela told a mother that she can't mourn the death of her son because Teela was lied to How's that sweet? That's real bad writing. Mugen says, ooh, look at these worms squirm. Hey, you're a poet. You didn't know it. That's funny.
A lot of help. And also, even the shit I did by myself was predicated on shit other people did years and years ago. So there was very little creativity involved. There was very much taking all the assets and all the backstory and mythology and shaping something fairly new and stuff. So like in doing that, you know, I had a lot of help. The Powerhouse Animation kids, our directors, Pat and Adam, writers in and of themselves and how much they added to the show and whatnot. So this ain't just me going like, I like what I do, so I thought everyone else would. But I felt like for the first time in my career, like I made something that more than Kevin Smith fans would enjoy. And I was like, wow, and it works. And like, I think it's going to play. And it's doing that for a lot of people, but some people it's not doing that for it. But, you know, in my child's heart, I hope that it would have blanketed everybody. I hope it would have made people happy. Like I've never once tried to be fucking divisive in my career. It's like a running joke in my fucking career. I've been doing this shit 27 years. And then I wind up doing shit that like makes people mad. And it's not my intention. There's some people that are provocateurs who like go out of their way to fucking piss the audience off and stuff like that. I'm so not that guy, man. I'm just like fucking like, I'm a stoner. I'm like, I don't want no fucking hassle and shit. And my whole career, like shit will happen where it's, you know, like fucking Chasing Amy. Some people got mad. Dogma.
Yeah.
A lot of fucking people got mad and shit with the death threats.
Yeah.
Jersey Girl, oddly enough, a lot of fucking people got mad. Fucking Yoga Hosers, like periodically, Mallrats, even some people got mad. People that loved Clerks were like, fuck this Mallrats. Maybe we put you where you are and this is what you make. Fuck that. So there's no matter what you intend, like, and I had the purest intentions for Masters of the Universe, like you'll wind up hitting people who are like, you suck. But this is one of those moments that links up with the other big you suck moments in my career. Now, some of those moments turned out later on, I didn't suck so hard. Like Mallrats, they came after me hard going, this sucks, particularly the critics. And 10 years later,
sequel.
Exactly.
Right.
10 years later, the audience found it and fell in love with it and shit like that. So I know I've been doing this long enough to know like this will absolutely pass. I know there's some people that some people send screenshots of I've canceled my Netflix subscription and shit like that.
Right, it's like good luck watching Bridgerton now. You're only hurting yourself. What are you going to talk about around the office? Come on, you're playing yourself.
You know, there's 5 more to go. Hopefully, when they see the people that see them, people that enjoy it will enjoy it even more. And then hopefully the people who are like, this isn't what I wanted, will be like, now this is what I'm fucking talking about. But there will always be, I feel like, a contingency of people that are like, no, this is not it for me.
Yeah.
So I've gotten like the single best reviews of my career. I got a certified fucking fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. That never happens for any Kevin Smith shit whatsoever.
He's more concerned with what the critics want to say about his stuff. That's a shame, isn't it? I got a certified fresh from critics. Wouldn't you want certified fresh from the audience as well, Kevin?
However, but oddly enough, if you look over at the audience score, it's like the worst of my career and stuff. So, you know, and neither truly tells the story, I guess.
Yeah.
The truth is somewhere in between. But I know it's being watched a lot.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there.
It's exciting. It's exciting. I mean,
Batman is in here.
Anyway, I thought we would take a look at that because I thought, well, yeah, damn. Damn. Basically. Terrible stuff. Awful. Let me get rid of this stuff now. There we go. Let's big this up. Oh, no. Need to change the width of this. I hope you all enjoyed that anyway. Now I can actually get to some of the comments and stuff like that. I shall there we go. I'm back. We had some slight issues with the camera there. So now I will obviously get to some of the comments. Me being a boomer again. Ladies and gents, me being an absolute boomer again. So, let's put this back in here. And again, hopefully a lot of people can kind of see, you know, the point that I was making about all of this. It's just bad writing. You know, a lot of disingenuous comments coming through from strange people going, oh, you think it's work? No, never said that. No, never said that at all. Never said that. So let's just scroll up. It's interesting because he literally does say who the show is for, which is Kevin Smith fans, not He-Man fans. Shame. Painbringer Music says Kevin Smith is a businessman disguised as a fan. I never really liked or followed him. High mistake. Nice to see a full house. Yeah, it's pretty good actually. We've got loads of people in here this evening. So guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to kind of hear what you have to say on all of this. There we go. Finally gone away from the blurriness. So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Love to kind of see what you've got to say on all of this stuff. Let's scroll back down. Kieran Hodgson, Evil Lynn Chubby right here. Sorry, I love her voice. Yeah, Lena Headey did a good job with the voice acting. Sarah Michelle Gellar-Fatila's voice acting was not the best. Not horrendous, but it wasn't the best voice acting. Lena Headey was very, very good, actually. She was very decent. Very, very decent. Kevin Smith fans aren't big enough to sustain the show from Vertical Horizons. Yeah, I completely agree. Chris Horror says, it sounds like they made it bad on purpose so people will hate it and talk about it so people will watch it, so it'll be one of the most watched things on Netflix, whether people like it or not. The thing is that it's all well and good saying, oh, this isn't going to affect the show at all. It's not going to affect season 1. It will affect them wanting to do more, dependent on the expense that they've had to do on this show. You only have to look at multiple other Netflix shows to show that they do absolutely bottle shows. Jupiter's Legacy, right? Like, that was too expensive. Apparently, it was one of the most watched shows. It was up on their recommended or top shows for quite a while. But that was too expensive, so they binned that off. It got some bad reviews, but yeah, they binned that off. Netflix's Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance, that was too expensive, and they binned that off immediately, even though that had amazing reviews. Reviews, good or bad, good reviews definitely don't keep shows alive. The good reviews that these shows get don't keep them alive. Now, will the show keep going into its part 2? So part 2 of season 1? Yeah, 100%. 100% it will, because as he said, it's already in the can. Like, yeah, it makes sense. They've already paid for it. But will they pay for another one? That's, yeah, proof's in the pudding there. Nathan Norman says he's doing damage control. Several toy-centered YouTubers, one who was on, have seen a drop in He-Man merch sales. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. The thing is that for Mattel, right, this show was looking to be a big push for Mattel. Big push. They've got 2 He-Man shows in the works. This one, and then another one, an anime, weird CGI anime thing for kids. So this one was meant for more adults than it was meant for kids. It was meant for fans of the original, more for, rather than the new one that's been, working on now. And then they're looking to do a live action film as well. They want this to blow up. They do want this to blow up. Do you think Mattel is going to look at this with any favour and go, oh yeah, this is great for business? No, they're not. They're not going to look at this as massively positive. They are going to look at it as pretty damn bad. And it's really, really bad faith argument to say, oh no, they're not going to care. No, of course they're going to care. Of course they are. Kevin Smith implied in that interview that Netflix were already working on season 2. No, implied in that interview that part 2 was done, which is still of season 1. He implied that there's spin-offs and stories to go elsewhere, but he said that part 2 is now just in the can. And that's part 2 of season 1, not season 2. Remember, this is He-Man Revelations part 1. Part 2 is still happening. Because it was written all in one. They filmed it all in one. They did all the recording in one. They've already paid all the actors, so they have to release it. Teela is too masculine to be an insert of Kevin Smith, maybe his wife. That's funny. Let me scroll back up. Did I miss any super chats? I don't think I did. No. Smith should let go of backwards B cap. He's 60, isn't he? Yeah. I don't think there's much need to rip on, people's appearance. It's a pretty lowbrow argument, in fairness. I don't condone that for sure. Royston Parker says at least the stream's got a much better person in front of the camera. So who is Kevin Smith and how did he get to make a complete mess of this IP? Fair point, dude. Fair point. Sugar Cartridge says, off topic, what's your opinion on no FAP? Is it healthy? I need approval from you, my spirit animal, and Jasper. I don't know what no FAP is. Are you talking about just not having a wank? I mean, there's many reasons to, and I don't know, really. What? I cannot give you my opinion on this, dude. I don't really have an opinion. There are pros and cons. I would suggest Google. Although if you're typing that in on Google, expect some very strange images to come up, I'm sure. When does Part 2 drop? Did they announce that yet? No, they actually didn't, to be fair. They didn't announce that, sadly. Donovan Bradford says, yeah, this show was done like the second half of Vikings, where we get a handful of episodes start of the year, then the second half at the end of the year. Yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen. Budgie Cat says, people rip on Kevin's appearance, but that's a business decision. His Silent Bob persona is liked, so he uses that to market himself. Yeah, it's lowbrow ripping on people's appearance. It's not a good argument. I always say no. Let's not go that far with that. It's not relevant at all. Garrett Winterberg says, did they talk about the 2000 reboot series? That was good. They briefly mention it, but they don't really go into it too much. So, yeah. Kal-El Kent, no one has said it's woke. So asking what's so woke about it is completely redundant. You can go off elsewhere if you want to have all of that stuff. We're not talking about it being woke here. We're talking about it just having bad writing. Jasper probably could do a better job of this show. He definitely could, ladies and gents. He 100% could. Carrie Catlow says, I've never heard anyone say other fans aren't real fans for liking different versions of a franchise. I've only seen them say, don't aim it at SJWs that don't even watch it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, my stance on a lot of this stuff has always been, don't aim it at people who aren't consumers. But that actually goes, regardless of whether you're an SJW or not, right? Like, people aren't consumers that are also massively on the right because they say that they're just going to illegally download things. There's a lot of people that were just like, oh, well, they've done this, therefore I'm going to steal it. It's like there's a lot of non-consumers out there that masquerade around as consumers. So, yeah, not good. Alexander Nunez became a level 2 channel member. Thank you so much. Hey. The Juice Man says, how is it not woke? Are you kidding me? I didn't say it wasn't. I didn't say it was. I didn't say it wasn't. That's not the point that's being made here. Fuck me. Open your ears. How can you be so fucking stupid? I'm sorry, but god damn. Everyone trying to get me to paint it out to be woke. Fuck off. I'm not saying it's woke. I'm not saying it is woke. I'm not saying it isn't woke. My arguments transcend that very basic, pathetic point. Because it is a pathetic point. If you want people just to sit there and go, well, it's woke, fine. You can find a channel that does that. They're a dime a dozen. It's a childlike stance to have. You can pick apart the show and actually make a really valid criticism of it, transcending that very basic, pathetic, petty point very, very, very easily. It's not about it being woke. It's not the point. God damn. Upbringer Music upgraded his membership to level 1. Thank you so much. Anyway, Kieran Hodgson says, I don't know how this generation of kids will react to it. Maybe that will save Mattel message. What do you think? Well, no, because the thing is, and what's quite important about this is that there are 2 shows in the works. There's one actually for kids, this weird like Fortnite looking anime thing, and then there's one which was this one, which was for adults, primarily for adults. So I don't really understand what they're doing with it. It's very strange. Like, it doesn't make any sense. We've also gone a little bit blurry here, so hopefully this will sort this out now, but it's not going to sort it out, is it? Is this going to sort it out? Is this going to sort it out? Are we going to focus a little bit more now? No, definitely not. Why would you want to focus, camera? Why would you want to focus? Ridiculous. Daniel Tucker, people love echo chambers. Absolutely, yes, they do. And it's just sad as well. Like I say, if you want that, you can fuck off to another channel. There are a dime a dozen the people that just run their mouth saying that all the time. I'm happy to deconstruct the whole show on a more technical level. I don't need to sit here and cry woke. There are a dime a dozen, those kind of channels. Sugar Cartridge says, I want Skelly to call me Adam while he spears me from behind and grabs my power sword. Oh my Jesus Christ. Well, I regret reading that out loud, don't I? Oh my God. Jesus. The blur makes you look younger. Oh, appreciate it. You can't quite see my wrinkles and grey hairs so much. Well, my white hairs anyway. Dear oh dear. So like I say, I think we've done a very good job of kind of dismantling this show quite well. We've got 1,175 viewers and 1,024 likes. Can we smash that like button, those guys that have not liked the show? Stuart Barnum, off topic, I'm a member. You didn't introduce yourself as a rally guy. So you're not actually a member, my dude. What you are is a Patreon. So they're slightly different. So you get different benefits for different things. So what I would say, Stuart, my dude, is if you wanted to become a member, just send me an email and I'll try and explain the differences. So Patreon has different benefits than membership of the channel does. I don't know what the percentage of income is that is taken from me on either one, actually, in fairness. But there are differences, my dude. There are differences. I'm just trying to let you know, that's all. So I think we've done a pretty good job of dismantling this show. It's just bad writing, and we've taken apart his points very succinctly as well. It's all well and good saying, well, it was a messianic moment, He-Man killed himself to save everyone else. Absolutely. Very much downplay that point in the next scene, when you then have Teela chastising everyone and telling a mother that she can't mourn the death of her son because everyone lied to Teela. Teela, the center of the universe. You're writing a bad character. You're removing the messianic moment in that point, right? You're removing it. It has no gravity, no weight in that moment. And that's bad, right? That's just bad writing, plain bad writing. It also shows that Kevin doesn't understand the show that he's written, because if he actually does believe He-Man sacrifices this sort of spiritual moment and it's heroic and stuff like that, and he believes that stands up in the rest of the episodes, then he just doesn't understand it. VLMK says, I've been debating about cancelling Netflix since they gave the green light for the French movie with the little girls twerking. Get ready for the Conan series to be ruined by Hollywood. Yeah, the Conan series is going to be a shame, I think. Centrovest Gaming became a membership level 1 supporter. Thank you so much. So yeah, I think we've done a good job of dismantling it all. Personally, I think, yeah. And I don't have any issue with Teela being the main character. I've gone on record and said that there's no issue removing the main character and having a new point of view character if the story is then about the main character. You gotta give people what they want. The subversion tactics are real bad. People are sick of subversion of expectations. They really are. Late PM says, just found your channel in the last few days in the midst of this He-Man stuff. Really like your analysis and humour. Also brought your DVD yesterday. I wish for a highlight reel of your best. Oh, wow. Well, I'm amazed that you're so new here and you chose to buy my Blu-ray. That's really kind of you, man. That's really, really kind of you. Side note, everyone who missed out on my film Breaking Lights, if no one knows, because a lot of people are actually new here, we gained a reasonable amount of subscribers over this He-Man stuff. I have actually made 3 films, and I've sold them on Blu-ray and stuff like that. So yeah, but Broken Lights is done now. It's gone. We're not selling anymore. Sunday was the cutoff. But thank you so much, late PM. Really appreciate that. And I'm glad you get the humor anyway. Let's put it that way, because obviously a lot of it is humor that goes over a lot of people's heads. So I'm glad you got that. Alphonse Klein says, Mr. H, what is your email, buddy? It's just mrhreviews@gmail.com. It's in the description box to every video. Midnight Surge just dropped on, says, let's not forget Biaselli, the Horde Prime, behind Smith's Hordak. Yeah. It's I would invite you on, actually, but I'm not doing it through StreamYard at the moment. I'm doing it through OBS. Otherwise, I'd send you an invite, my dude. But yeah, not good. Not good. So yeah, shame. But I appreciate the super chat there as well, Andre, my dude. I would like you to. It would be good to jump on and do a discussion with you. But again, I'm not through StreamYard at the moment. Yeah, there's not much else really to go into with respect to this. I think we've covered it all. I think we've dismantled it. I think we've given a pretty relatively, I don't know, an objective stance on it all. Anyway, just as a real quick one as well, actually. Just whilst I'm here, I know a lot of people won't be interested in this, but I do have a second channel. Please do check it out if you want to check out me doing vlog car stuff. A little bit of a different take on me and what I get up to in my life. I'm rebuilding a rally car at the moment. It's been quite a big task. I know it won't be everyone's cup of tea, but I've got to say it. It's a rare one. It's a Nissan Pulsar GT-IR, which not a lot of people have ever heard of. And if you enjoyed this stream, because I unfortunately used Kevin Smith's video with lots of cursing, it will inevitably be demonetized. So please do become a member, or please do send some super chats. But I'm going to spend a few more minutes here now just reading out some other questions and things like that, and getting to it. Because obviously I spent a large portion of all of that time, half an hour plus, sort of interjecting and intercutting with the Kevin Smith video. But yeah, Lord Cyberram says, Mr. H, with he saying about Jesus, he could get the church having a go comparing him into this. I don't think they care that much about stuff like that, do they anymore? George Smith says, hey, Mr. H, how's the car going? It's good. It's almost there. It's almost up and running. Again, for people that don't know, I bought a car that hadn't been on the road for 7 years, and I've been rebuilding it. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. I'm aware. It's quite off the beaten track for most people. But I really enjoy working on cars. It's my hobby. Right, let me... someone said about Hero. Let me have a look. The character Hero was originally He-Man's son. Didn't He-Man become Shazam at one point? Sorry I came so late to the stream. No, you can replay it. This will still be on the channel after the fact, so don't you worry about that. We have Tommy Garcia, but don't you think it's bad writing is due to hypercompensation because it serves an agenda? No, because I don't think it. I ultimately, like, it's bad writing. You could say it serves an agenda if Teela was written to be likable. Like, surely the agenda would be, well, Teela's a nice person, therefore we're supposed to really like her, and then it's all about her, right? But I mean, it's such bad writing. Like, maybe it is, but they did a real bad job of it if that is the case, because Teela's insufferable. VLMK69Z says, just giving you another tip because you deserve it. Love your vids and hearing your take on things. Continue being real, my dude. Always will be. Sin says, bro, I'm building a Lancer Evo. 8. Nice. It's my first Japanese car and it's going straight rally. Most cars I build are American muscle. That's awesome, man. I love my JDM cars, and yeah, that's awesome. That's really, really cool. Alexander Nunez says, can you save your StreamYard recordings before you publish them? Or does it just stream directly or chat, if you guys know? What do you mean, sorry? Can you save your StreamYard recordings before you publish them? Or does it just stream directly or chat, if you guys know? You can set them to go to unlisted. This isn't a StreamYard video. This is me streaming through OBS. So this isn't StreamYard. You can set them to go to unlisted the moment the recording has finished, the live stream is finished. They're not recordings. They then save as recordings, but they're still a live stream. Sorry. I'm butchering that answer, aren't I? Really butchering it. Ryan Yancey says, sorry if I missed it, but what are your thoughts on the Green Knight? I think it looks good. I wish that they got a better actor to play the lead. Dev Patel's fine. Bit monotonous, bit one note. I would have liked them to get a better actor in the lead, in fairness. Midnight Session needs a decent microphone. I don't think his microphone's not that bad, I didn't think. Is it that bad? I didn't think Andre's microphone was that bad. Sometimes he has to go on his phone, though. I know that much. Or like a laptop or something like that. Because sometimes the internet doesn't work on something that he uses. Andre, anyway. Because I've had him on streams, haven't I? So. The Hack says, Mr. H Reviews, could they backtrack Teela's character if she is going to become the sorceress? It would be very difficult to make her good. You know, after all of that. So, yeah. Kieran Hodgson says, maybe I'm being stupid in my old age, but when did secrets become black and white lies? It's not like Teela asked if Adam was He-Man. Yeah, fair. Yeah, that is in fact. Yeah, fair. You've got a good point there, to be fair. Mr. H seems pissed off. How? I've got a smile on my face. Please don't be a fool. Mr. H looks like your standard 900 horsepower GTR owner. Definitely not. I don't have a GTR. I'd love a GTR, sort of, but I'm not. I'm not particularly interested in owning a GTR. I've got. I like quirkier cars. I like the GTR. My friend's GTR is epic, but I'm not interested in owning one really. Just out of curiosity, are you running an AMD or Intel based rig? It's Intel. It's an Intel i9. Latest i9 that they released with an RTX 3060, 32 gigabytes of RAM, an NVMe SSD, normal hard drive as well. That should answer a lot of your questions, I think. Azrael of Avalon says, long time fan and long time lurker here. Love your videos and your take on things. Have some cursing compensation. Thank you. Appreciate it. Very kind of you. GTR isn't cheap. Yeah, I mean, I could never afford. I could never afford a GTR. I bought a Nissan Pulsar GTI-R, which is like a little. It's an all-wheel drive rally hatchback that Nissan made as a homologation special, so that they could take it rallying. And I bought that because it was they're normally very expensive, but this one, because it was in such bad shape, was being sold for really, 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 really cheap. Like 2/3 off its normal price. It was dirt cheap. So I would never, I would never be able to afford an actual GTR. And I don't think I would really want one either, to be fair. I'm quite happy with the cars that I've got. And that's been a very interesting project. I've learnt a lot working on that car. John Davies says, in the original show, Teela figured out He-Man was He-Man. Figured out Adam was He-Man and got her memory wiped. The prequel comic shows Adam tries to tell her, but the sorceress stops him. But that'll be interesting, won't it? Will they actually follow on from that? Yeah, we will see. Why did they lie to you, Teela? I don't know. Perhaps because it was a secret. That's a fair point. That's yeah, I like that. Dear oh dear. The GTI-R is pretty neat. It oddly looks like a Golf. However, with that said, I'd rather the Pulsar. Yeah, I would rather a Pulsar than a GTIR as well. I'd rather a Pulsar than a Golf, sorry. I'm getting tired very clearly. Nick Claydon sent £5, but nothing came through, so I do presume that, it's sort of messed it all up. It's deleted your thing. Did you say Nissan Pulsar? My first car was a Pulsar. I did, George Smith. I'm rebuilding a Pulsar GTIR on my second channel. Please do check it out. There's a link in the description box to this video. If anyone's into cars, please do check it out. Even if you're not into cars, check it out. You might like it. Alexander Nunez, did you see that disgusting Day of the Dead tomfoolery over at Sci-Fi yet? No. I've been told to go and check it though. Lord Cyber Ram says, Mr. H, did I do the right thing on my video? How it reflects on the LGBTQIA+ in a bad way, and they need to be pulled up on... Oh, you deleted it. Vassy deleted it. I can view this, can't I? Let me have a look. They need to be pulled up as some have began to spout hate. Did you send me a video? When did you send me a video? I didn't see any video that you sent me. Yeah, I mean, look, if they've done something which reflects badly on them, then yeah, I mean, you could argue that for sure. I don't know whether that is the case or not. Yeah, I'd have to have a look at it, to be fair. Goddamn YouTube, delete messages. How very dare you. No, I think that's... my wrenches doing, generally speaking, good work. They always do good work. My wrenches are fantastic, actually. I think maybe that was a missed delete there. Message, do you race cars on racetracks? No. You'd never want to race the GTIR anyway, the Pulsar, because it has a chocolate transmission. It just blow up. Wait, JT Mitchie, you have a second channel. Why did the YouTube algorithm not inform me? Yeah, I don't know why, actually. I doubt that they would ever inform you of stuff like that. But I do have a second channel. I'll leave it in the chat right now. Check it out if you want. Did you see the Army of Thieves Snyder prequel? No. Is that out yet? What is that? Only He-Man can defeat Skeletor, so how can Adam return from a mortal death that in itself could be a good story they can botch? Hey, only He-Man can defeat Skeletor, so how can Adam return from a... Yeah. Well, he's not going to die, that's the thing. He's not going to actually die. The Sorceress will probably heal him, and then he'll come back to life, and it'll be fine, and he'll fight. We're not sure how he's going to get the power to fight Skelly God. Yeah, it'll be a bit confusing with that, to be fair. We got 1,150 likes. That is absolutely fantastic. You guys are awesome. Yeah, guys, this has been really enjoyable. Just dropping down here. Oh, Vertical Horizons. Thankfully, I got a notification. Perfect. So these actually do seem to send out notifications if I schedule them through OBS, and they're scheduled in advance. Who else actually got a notification? Let me know. Like who actually got a notification for this? I'd love to hear it, because I wasn't really aware like what's been going on with this. Where's Jasper? He's upstairs asleep. He's chilling out. Vassy said something about Nikki. Is Nikki here or not? I didn't see any comments. Hey, I don't see that at all. Oh no, I do now. Yeah, there you go. Okay, yeah. So a lot of people actually got a notification. Yes, I did. I got one. I did. I got one. I got it. I did. Got a notification. Me. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Interesting. So it seems if I schedule a live stream through OBS. We actually get notifications going out. Interesting. Very interesting. How strange. Matt W sent £1. Thank you so much. Mr. H, I watched your review of the fan-made Astartes vids. Got me wondering if you read the 40k lore or play the tabletop. I've done some lore videos on 40k. It was news to me, though. It was quite new in my sphere. But yeah, no. I like it, but I'm not familiar with it. I became familiar by doing videos. I have a playlist, actually. I have a playlist of Warhammer 40k stuff. Please do check it out. Someone in the chat made a funny comment. They said you should play the voice of Tila. I think a tad too deep for that. A tad too deep. Cool. Well, anyway, ladies and gents, fantastic stream. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Christopher Williams says, I'm subscribed to your second channel and never see the updates. That's weird. I upload on that channel every Monday and Friday. Nick Clayton says, Dole, I was buying MG parts. JWTS. Thank you, Mr. H, for cutting through the woke, unwoke BS. Trying to find productive discussions is damn hard. Yeah, thing is, we don't have to we don't have to sit there and even talk about it being woke or not woke. It's not relevant. We can dismantle this whole this whole series just with bad writing and constructive objective arguments, I guess. Hey, Mr. H, have you any thoughts on the new trailer for the animated Witcher show? Yeah, it actually looks really decent. It looked decent, to be fair. Netflix trailers I tend not to review anymore because Netflix copyright blocks them. They're pretty weirdly hot on that. So I don't tend to do that. So I would have watched it, but I can't do videos on them because it's just a pain in the arse. So yeah. Anyway, this was fantastic, guys. Really enjoyed this. So yeah. Take care.